So tomorrow is the day that these babies are supposed to hatch. 42 eggs has already turned into, I think 26 eggs is what's left. I have to count them real quick. So here we are. Today is day 20. And tomorrow is the day that these babies are supposed to be hatching. So I'm removing them from the egg turner. I don't trust that thing with little babies in there. And I can't keep the moisture high enough for some reason. So I'm adding these 2 cups of water. And I've filled up all of the chambers. And I still, without the cups, with the chambers full, I've only been getting like not even 60% humidity, and it's time for that to be up. So I'm going to try the cups of water. I've had them all out. I candled everybody, and there's a few little babies that were fine the last time I candled, but they are not fine now. So I took everything out. I have these holes in this incubator, and I'm going to place quarters over the top of them just to see. These are damaged because I had to help a baby out of its egg, and I put some hot glue on the end of some skewers and used the skewers through these holes like a little endoscopic surgery and helped the baby out of its egg that way, because some were peeping a little bit late, and that chicken had been trying to hatch for like 2 days already. So I had no choice, and you can't open this once they start hatching or it'll shrink wrap your other chickens. So I damaged the holes, but it worked. It worked. We had a chicken and a duck that were helped out of their egg through these little holes like this. Anyway, I just wanted to show you, and then I'll be back when they start hatching to let you see some of that process, and then we will talk about and learn about the brooder and heat and what to feed them and water them and how to care for your baby chicks. Okay, today is the day, and if you look right there, we heard chirping coming from the incubator. I can no longer open this. I had some trouble keeping moisture in, so I put some cups of water in here, and right there, a baby chick is trying to hatch. It is day 21. All of the eggs that are in here have been candled. They were candled yesterday, and now we are just waiting. I'm keeping the humidity at 65 to 70%, and we are just going to wait for the little babies to pop out. I will say this. I saw something or read something about playing baby chick sounds for your chickens that are hatching, and they had a higher success rate. I'm hoping you guys can see that little beak popping out of that hole, so I'm just going to talk to you while we watch. So we played baby chick sounds on replay from YouTube for them to hatch to, and they did amazing hatching. And I honestly think that it was because of the baby chick sounds that we were playing. What difference it makes, I don't know. Maybe it just encourages them to get out and see who's chirping. I don't know. But it did well. I had like 75% success rate doing it with the baby chick sounds. That's a pretty poppin' success rate for hatching eggs. Anything more than 40%, I'm excited and feel successful, because hatching eggs in an incubator can be challenging. And I've learned a lot, but I am about to play those little baby chick sounds. on my son's phone, and I'm just going to set it right next to the incubator and let it play, and we'll see what happens. I'm not going to make you guys sit here and watch for this baby chicken to oh, you see it? Ah, it's so cute. Finally. I've been waiting 21 very long days for this. And when they pop out, I will come back and make another video. And you can actually hear that chick chirping right now. It sounds like there's 2 in here chirping, and I'm trying to look. But as of now, do not open your incubator. Keep that moisture as high as you can keep it so that those little babies do not shrink wrap in their eggs. And also, I want to say this. When they come out, they're a little bit wet and kind of gross looking. But as they fluff up in there, your natural human instinct, if you have any heart, is to reach in there and hold that brand new baby and start loving on it right away. But don't open your incubator, guys. It's hard. It's very, very hard. But don't open your incubator unless you have a chick that's in distress, but you're at risk of putting your other chicks in distress too. So it needs to be a real emergency if you open this thing, and you want to do it as fast as possible. You want to barely open and reach in and get that chick and shut it back. And then you want to have some sort of heat source ready. Your brooder, your bedding, your heat lamp. You want to have that ready for when these babies are out. And if you take one out, you want to have it ready to put into the brooder so that you don't have to open this again to put the baby chicken back. It's tempting. Oh, it's so tempting. There's not much things in the world cuter than a baby rabbit or a baby chicken or a baby duck. So just resist. Right now we have one baby out. The egg is broken over there. And we have several other babies popping out of their shells. This one's almost completely out. I was going to see if we could catch it hatching. Excuse my family watching Home Improvement in the background. If I leave that in there.
That rust will cause corrosion, which will eat away at the clump, which will in turn eat away at me.
This one's hatching. This one's hatching. I'm not sure what's on that one's back, but it looks like a giant booger. It's probably just a little membrane. This one.
I noticed the nick on your lawnmower and I want to touch it.
This one. And this one.
I told her this is a classic car.
I think they're all gonna hatch. As of now, we're looking good. I see some peeping out over there on the other side, but you can't really see through this one too good.
She scratched the car and tried to fix it herself. Looks like a pretty good match. Was that red hatching delight?
And then when one baby hatches, it runs around in there and starts rolling all the other eggs around, and everybody starts just popping out. They're doing a great job. Good morning. So I went to bed last night, and when I woke up this morning, there was 8 baby chickens hatched from the egg. It looks like 2 have died in the hatching process. Like they just couldn't make it. Which is kind of sad, because if I was awake, I probably still wouldn't have helped it. We have the newest one there. It's trying to sleep, but the other ones keep walking on it. Chickens are born mean. I don't know if you guys have ever seen chickens, but watch them. They are already trying to establish pecking order in this incubator. And I have some more peeping out. So far we have 9 babies in here. Looks like we have 2 Amberlink Rhode Island Red mixes, and the rest are I can't remember what they're called. They're really pretty chickens with the black outline on their feathers. These grow up to be really beautiful chickens. They're not very big. They don't lay very big eggs, but they're pretty. Look at them, they're so mean. Already pecking each other, shoving each other down. Probably have a whole box of roosters. That's probably what it is. Anyway, I'm sorry I didn't catch one hatching, other than the one that I caught last night, which was very blurry. Sorry, my voice is so tired. But I'm tired. Everything in my house is still sleeping, so I'm trying to be a little quiet. It's very exciting. Very, very exciting. They're so cute. As of right now, we have 11 chickens that have hatched. And there's a little group over here in the corner that's still peeping. And we have a little group back here that doesn't appear to be hatching at all. We had 2 that almost hatched, and they died in the process and didn't make it. I did what I told everybody not to do, because I saw one of the chicks ripped the shell off of another, and it was really bleeding from its stomach. And I took it out and put iodine on it. If they get their umbilical cord ripped off early, they get bacteria in their little tummies, and then they end up getting a little bloated tummy, and they die anyway. So I am trying to save that one. Put a little iodine on its belly. You can see a little bit of blood left in there. I threw the most bloody tissue in the trash. This little guy, I don't know if he's going to make it, but it did just pop out, he or she. So maybe. So I might actually have a chance to show you guys how to help a chick out of the egg. But again, it's not really a chance. It's a chore. And it's a lot of work. That's the one right there. If it'll roll over again, you can see its tummy is bulging out. They stay connected to the bottom half of their egg like this one. You can see right there their little umbilical cords drying up, and it'll break off on its own, and then their little tummies don't protrude and have an open place for infection. I've had a couple like that, and I hope it's a horrible situation, and I hope this little chicken doesn't have that. But I shouldn't have opened it. But I saw the little chicken bleeding everywhere, and I could not just leave it there like that. I just couldn't. So I made a choice. Whether it was the right one or not, I don't know. But we'll see. So what we have right now is the baby chickens that I've separated from the incubator. They've been in there for over 24 hours, and it was time for them to come out. There's still some eggs that haven't hatched. I did candle them and a few of them have like slight movements on the inside. I'm very doubtful that they'll hatch, but I'm also hopeful in its own way, and I'm going to give them a chance in the incubator. And I also have a few little sick ones. I'm not quite sure why these guys aren't so healthy. The Amber Link Rhode Island Red mix, they're kind of blending in with the red heat lamp and the color of the shavings, but they're not doing so hot. And I put a little colloidal silver in their water, and when you first introduce water and food to your chickens, and they don't have to eat for at least 24 hours because they've absorbed that yolk sac, and it just gives them the nutrition that they need for the first 24 hours of their life. Sometimes they can go up to 2 or 3 days, but I don't like that. So I went ahead and we have some chick starter feed, and I used some lids from the Chinese place and a regular plate to put it on, because if you don't put it on a plate, they will get shavings all in there, and they just absolutely are little mess makers. And they're going to scratch in that feed. Even as little as they are, they're going to start scratching. And you can see they're already flinging stuff everywhere. And then when you want to, at first they're not going to know what to do. And you are their mom, and you have to just grab them. And I've already done this, so this little chicken's probably like, hey, I know how to do this. And you just put the very tip of their little beak in the water. Stand them up next to it, and I know it looks a little cruel. It's hard to do with one hand. Here, so you take your chicken, you stand it next to the water and grab it by the back of the head, and just barely put the tip of their beak in there, and you'll see them lift their heads up to kind of toss the water back to the back of their throat like that little guy just did. Oh, he feels it. Oh, you want to fight? You want to fight me? That's probably a rooster. When they act like that, I have noticed that they are probably going to be roosters. The roosters are so mean, even from birth. But you just grab all of them, and you try to make sure that you get all of your chickens, and just push the back of their head in there and tap their beak in the water. And then a lot of times they'll start drinking, and the other ones will see it happening, and they'll follow suit. They are little copycats, and when they see one do something, they all start doing it. If one runs to a spot and starts pecking at it, they're like, oh, something must be good over there, so I'm going to go do it too. But I try to show them all where the water is, and then I usually just grab the couple biggest ones and set them right in the middle of the food plate, and because they're going to do that anyway. And the biggest ones will start pecking at it anyway, and then the other ones will, again, copycat and start pecking at the food, and they all figure it out together. But I try to make sure they all get a little sample of the water from me. This girl, it's not doing so well. I did give him some water, and that one is walking around, but it's real weak, keeps falling over on its back. It's not a good sign. I'm not sure if the bloodline, the genes of the chickens that are making these Amber Link and Rhode Island Red mix are messed up somehow. I don't know. This little one is suffering. I have it in a bowl in here because every time it got introduced with its brothers and sisters, they were just pecking at it and trampling on it, and like they were trying to go ahead and end its misery. And I wish I had the heart to do that too, but I don't. I just have to hope that good things will happen. I did use a dropper, and I gave this chicken some colloidal silver, which is a natural antibiotic, and I gave it some poultry cell. It's an oral vitamin supplement. It's got iron, essential amino acids, and what they call necessary minerals. I'll show that to you. Anyway, I think this is more for adult chickens that are sick. It says shake well before using. Keep out of reach of children, for animal use only. Honestly, there is nothing in here that a human couldn't get. It's probably good medicine for us too. But it says for human use or for animal use only. So, but I'm hoping that it will just help the little chicken along. At this point, we're in desperation. So even though this doesn't say you can give it to new chicks, but it doesn't say not to. It just says chick cell. So I put a few drops in the chick's beak and it did swallow it. So I don't know. I just don't know, but I'll keep trying until the very, very end. I don't give up on them. If it's breathing, I'm trying. So it is struggling though. It's very sad. I found this morning. So through the night, one of the baby chicks tried to hatch. These are all dud eggs that didn't hatch. If you remember, I said don't count your chickens until they hatch. And excuse this bread, that's going out to the chickens. And then these are going to get thrown in the woods. Because they are going to smell some kind of bad. But this guy, he or she tried through the night, but it just didn't make it. And like I said, I do have a few more eggs in the incubator. So I candled these, and all of these still have movement inside. I just stuck the bowl in there. I'm going to take them out of that bowl, but I wanted to go ahead and get them back in the warmth as soon as possible. And I had some other things I needed to do real quick. So I don't know. Every now and then they can hatch a few days late and they can still live a really nice and healthy life. So I'm not giving up on them yet, but I won't give them more than a few days and then they gotta go, because a rotten egg smell is I can't stand it. The smell inside of this incubator right now is absolutely disgusting. If you don't know what hatching chickens smell like, you are in for a treat. I have to hide my nose in my shirt when I opened it. It's really bad. All of this is their pee and poop and birthing fluids. It's gross. It's really gross. When everything is said and done, I will take this all apart, scrub everything down with rubbing alcohol, and leave it outside open to air out for some time. Also, I know it's weird, but I pray for the little chickens. I add prayer and I ask God to help them, and I ask God that if they're not going to make it, to go ahead and let them go so that they don't lay there and suffer. There's nothing wrong with praying for your animals, praying for success for your farm. So don't forget that. So I'll keep these chickens in here for just a couple of days. The brooder is set up outside, but they're so little, and a few of them being sick, I want to look at them. So they're going to stay in the house for a couple of days and annoy everyone at night chirping while we're trying to sleep, because the heat lamp will have to stay on them. My light bill is going to increase because it's hot during the day and my air conditioning's on, and don't think that heat lamp does not produce some very serious anti-air condition. So, you know, be prepared for all of that. I just have some pine shavings in the bottom of a cardboard box, and they're all able to move around and get off of being on top of each other. And hopefully that'll help the weaker ones. Unlike that, it'll help the weaker ones be able to rest and get some strength built up. But that's what we have going on for now. And in a couple of days, I'll show you what it's like to transport them out into the brooder, which again is pretty basic. Just gonna move them from this box to that box. And these are the babies. So cute. So I didn't video putting them into this brooder. They ended up only going in here the day before yesterday. My front porch right now. I have extension cords ran out so I can hook up their light. These babies are 13 days old today. And I just have some pipe going across here from a little old tent that we used to have. And it's that plastic fencing that you can put around gardening. your garden. They are doing so well. And we ended up having 12 chickens in total. We have 10 of the black chickens and 2 of the yellow chickens. Out of 42 eggs, we have 12 successful hatched chickens. It's pretty typical. Pretty typical. I tried to sex these chickens to see if they were roosters or hens, but I'm not good at that. But you can see at 12 days, they're already starting to get feathers, and their little fur is starting to fall out. They're absolutely adorable, and they're very, very sweet. My youngest son keeps holding them and loving on them and making sure that they're humanized and social, and they just absolutely bring great joy to my life. And I don't know if I said this already, but we went to Tractor Supply the other day, and these babies were almost $5 a piece. So we have about $60 worth of chickens in this brooder right now. I have their heat lamp plugged in because it's been 53 degrees outside at night. That's too cold for them. We have their little mason jar feeder, and we have a waterer, like a little dog or cat waterer. I can get it to focus. And they keep filling it with shavings, and we keep having to come out and scoop the shavings out and throw them out, but they're still so mean. They still want to murder each other. They're absolutely establishing pecking order even at this tiny little age. But here they are at 13 days old. $60 worth of chickens. And I love them. Anyway, it's been a pretty cool adventure every time I've done this. It has its sad moments, but once all that's behind you and you have your living little baby chickens, the joy comes then. It's very, very awesome to watch the whole process. And then eventually these babies will make more babies, and we'll have a refrigerator full of eggs. So anyway, I hope that this video helps somebody hatch some eggs and have some success. Don't be disappointed if the first couple of times you try, you don't have a great success. It took me about 5 years worth of trying to do this to get to this point. And a ton of YouTube videos and research and studying. You see them fighting. They're so mean. But anyway, don't give up. Keep trying. It's very rewarding.